On this all-new episode of Nightlife, we head to the Hockey Hall of Fame to meet this year's inductees.
This year, the selection committee has chosen to honor 8 deserving individuals, all of whom have had a tremendous impact on our game.
And we talk to some of the Golden Knights about their hockey inspirations growing up.
Sounds funny to say because he's still playing, but like Crosby, Ovechkin, those guys. When I was a kid growing up, they were like the superstars in the league. And when I was like 8 years old, I had like a Crosby shirt, which was pretty funny because he's still playing to this day.
Plus, a special one-on-one with netminder Akira Schmid as he takes on a bigger role between the pipes.
Are you the type of goalie that wants, within reason, some shots early, feel the puck and get you into the game?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'd rather have 40 shots a game than 18, 19.
All of that and more this week on Nightlife. Welcome into an all-new episode of Nightlife. November is always a special month for the NHL, as each year, a new class of deserving individuals is elected to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Inspirations for many, this incredible event always highlights the contributions made to the game of hockey. We sat down with several of the Golden Knights to talk about their own inspirations as they found their way in their hockey journey.
Growing up, which NHL player was the biggest inspiration to you?
I mean, it sounds funny to say because he's still playing, but like Crosby, Ovechkin, those guys. When I was a kid growing up, they were like the superstars in the league. And when I was like 8 years old, I had like a Crosby shirt, which was pretty funny because he's still playing to this day. But I would say for our whole generation of players, I think those are the guys that we looked up to when we were young coming up. And it's pretty cool to see some of them still hanging around playing and doing well still. So. Yeah, I would say those guys. I was a Bruins fan growing up. Like Ray Bourque. He was a little bit past my time, but he was like my dad's favorite player. So I always heard about Ray Bourque and had his jersey as a kid growing up. So yeah.
Montour feeding right out in front. Oh my goodness, Hill! How did he do it? They're gassed. Breathtaking.
Yeah, my favorite player growing up was Roberto Luongo. I just happened to be a Canucks fan growing up, and he was with the Florida Panthers, got traded to the Canucks, so I was like a kid on Christmas morning. Pretty excited about that, and yeah, I got to meet him a couple times. He was super humble, super nice, and just really respectful.
Colasar scores! What a shot by Keegan Colasar, and the Golden Knights have the lead!
I didn't watch hockey.
Even when you were growing up, I know you did it now, but I thought maybe now.
No, it was never on my house. It just wasn't a thing. I would say my cousin married Ryan White's sister, so he played for Montreal years in the past. Krim knows him pretty well too. He's from Brandon, played for the Flyers. So I guess if I would highlight someone who was him, I would go back to Brandon in the summers, skate with him, play beer league hockey and Christmas time with him and the Pig Scramblers in Winnipeg or in Brandon. So it was nice.
William Karlsson looking for his second shorthanded goal in as many nights. And shot, score! What a goal! Through his own legs! William Karlsson, shorthanded, gives Vegas the lead! Are you kidding me?
Peter Forsberg,
Yeah?
Swedish guy, played for Colorado Avalanche.
Is there any parts of his game that you find yourself to this day still trying to replicate?
No, I'm not the same player as he was.
Yeah.
He was an absolute beast,
Yeah.
and he scored a lot of points. So, and I'm not an absolute beast. So
You are not.
No,
I'm
he
gonna self-deprecate here,
he-
but I don't know if there's parts
he
that
just
you would
ran
still...
guys, and
Yeah.
I don't do that. So
Yeah.
he was a badass.
McNabb closing in, shot, score! There's that curl and drag move from Brandon McNabb.
Yeah, I loved goalies. For some reason. So I loved like the Avalanche, Patrick Waugh, like the Peter Forsberg, Joe Sakic era, Rob Blake era. So that team was great. I followed them pretty like a big fan.
Did you ever try to be a goalie?
Yeah, I think I did, but like we were always good and it was boring. So it was like I would just sit there. So it was always more fun to be out.
Yeah, you wouldn't be out there laying those hip checks.
Yeah.
Even as a little guy, I'm sure.
Biggest inspiration. Well, my favorite player growing up, I'm from Vancouver, BC, so I was a big Todd Bertuzzi guy. growing up. He was my guy for a lot of years. And I kind of modeled myself a little bit after Mike Fisher as well, who I actually played with in Nashville for a few years and learned a lot from. Certainly as a player, but as a person and a leader, he's a tremendous human being. So I'd definitely say him as well.
5 seconds, drop the stick, and the slot. Smith gets around the goalie. They scored! This game is over with the latest goal in franchise history. 0.4 for Riley Smith.
I would say probably my brother. Brendan's 2 years older than me, and it wasn't always just, he was my older brother, but he was also someone who was, drafted a couple years in front of me, and he was always the guy I was chasing. So him playing in the NHL when I was in college, he was a great role model for me, and being able to live kind of just 2 years behind him my entire life has been great. He's a great role model, a great sounding board for any advice that I've ever needed. And so I think I'm very lucky to be able to have that.
Time for our first break here on Nightlife. Coming up next, we head to Toronto and the Hockey Hall of Fame to meet this year's inductees.
I got the call and I was like, oh, you don't dream of stuff like this, of the Hall of Fame. These are people that you grew up idolizing, and names that are bigger than, you think yourself of, and it's mind-blowing. It was.
Keep it locked. Nightlife on Scripps Sports. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Nightlife. Let's head north of the border to Toronto, where this year's Hockey Hall of Fame class received the ultimate honor.
On behalf of the Board of Directors, I would like to thank you for helping us recognize the Hockey Hall of Fame class of 2025. This year, the selection committee has chosen to honor 8 deserving individuals, all of whom have had a tremendous impact on our game.
My reaction when I first received the phone call and found out that I was going to be a part of the Hockey Hall of Fame, my heart was so full. I felt such joy. I felt happiness. I think most of all, I felt grateful.
Very, very grateful, very honored. It's something that happens to a very unique, special group of selected people and players.
The reaction was very emotional. It's almost like someone opening up like my heart, my soul, and say, well, just feel it.
A surreal feeling to hear Lanny and Ron Francis's voices over the phone, thinking, what am I doing talking to these guys? Why are they calling me?
Lanny McDonald called me and told me who he was on the phone, and told me I was in the Hockey Hall of Fame. And my first reaction was, Lanny, I know who you are, and I know you have no idea who I am. I really thought they were calling me about one of my former players.
I got the call and I was like, oh, it's because you don't dream of stuff like this, of the Hall of Fame. These are people that you grew up idolizing, and names that are bigger than, you think yourself of, and it's mind-blowing. It was.
The first inductee in the builder category is one of the most successful coaches in the history of collegiate hockey. The Hockey Hall of Fame is pleased to welcome Jack Parker as an honored member.
The great things about coaching that long or coaching college hockey was that you get to know these kids. You're helping them while they're playing for you, but to become great friends afterwards. I always tell people I have 2 daughters and 237 sons.
Our second inductee in the builder category began her coaching career at the age of 17, when she volunteered to coach both the girls and boys teams while still a student at St. Jerome College. The Hockey Hall of Fame is pleased to welcome Danielle Savageau as an honored member.
It just started by saying, how could I help? When you turn a lot of no's into yes, it opens the door not only for you, but for the one following. At the end of the day, when you do one step at a time and you want to serve the players and build the environment for them, this is basically what I've done.
In the player category, our first inductee has a trophy case that includes an incredible 4 Olympic and 5 Women's World Championship gold medals. The Hockey Hall of Fame is pleased to welcome Jennifer Bottrill as an honored member.
I think it's just been incredible to see the growth of the sport. And the way I often describe it, not every little girl has to play hockey now, but we love that it's a choice.
Our second inductee in the player category is just the second European captain to lead an NHL team to a Stanley Cup championship. The Hockey Hall of Fame is pleased to welcome Zdeno Chara as an honored member.
So grateful that I was playing for Originally Six franchise, and I got the trust to lead the team, and eventually we succeeded in 2011.
The next inductee in the players category helped their country capture more than 10 international medals, including gold at both the Olympics and the Women's World Championships. The Hockey Hall of Fame is pleased to welcome Brianna Decker as an honored member.
I would tell myself, like, compete for everything, compete for every puck, compete in backyard football with your brothers, compete at street hockey, anything like that. That's kind of how I grew up, and I would tell my 10-year-old self the same message, just compete, and that's what makes it fun.
The next inductee in the player category is a 3-time Stanley Cup champion and 2-time Olympic gold medalist. The Hockey Hall of Fame is pleased to welcome Duncan Keith as an honored member.
The stories I heard from scouts, you might have weighed 140 pounds at one point coming up, and they were kind of concerned about your size. Is there any truth to that?
Some bad scouts, no? Yeah, it was just one of those things that I think you use as motivation, and just being smaller, I knew I had to be quick and fast, and look at these guys right here. Look at Joe. I don't want to get hit out there by these guys. It was survival more than anything.
The final inductee in the player category went on to play an incredible 24 seasons in the league, recording more than 1,500 points. The Hockey Hall of Fame is pleased to welcome Joe Thornton as an honored member.
Winning with dunks in Vancouver was pretty special, but I think just playing so many games, meeting so many guys, that's the highlight for me.
Time for a short break here on Nightlife. Coming up next, Dave Goucher sits down with Akira Schmid to talk about his hockey journey.
Could you take me back to what intrigued you about that position all those years ago?
Well, back when I was younger, started off with soccer or football.
Yeah.
I was a goalie there too, but it was very bad.
Much bigger net.
Yeah, much bigger net, but when I started playing hockey, I mean, that's the first thing I kind of started watching was like goalies. I don't know, I guess it's just the different paths or something like that.
Come on back with us. More Nightlife to come on the other side. Welcome back to Nightlife.
The wins are starting to pile up for Akira Schmid.
Here's Kadri walking in and a save. Schmid. Come the Flames with numbers. Zary with a chance and a save. Schmid. Puck out high. Wrist shot from Harris. Denied by Schmid. Big pile up near the crease. Chatfield to the point. Riley down the slot of backhand. Glove save. Schmid. Into the slot. Rasmussen. And a save. Schmid. Is Aho. He's on the move short-handed. And a save. Schmid. Back through center ice, Appleton has DeBrincat. DeBrincat trying to break, and a save, Schmid! And he stopped the rebound too! A couple of glove saves by Akira Schmid.
With the unfortunate injury to Aiden Hill, Akira Schmid has emerged as a very consistent option to man the pipes. Dave Goucher sat down with a VGK goaltender to talk about his journey to the Golden Knights.
Akira, your position of goaltender, I always think it's one of the more unique positions in sports. You know, you think of a quarterback in football, or maybe a point guard in basketball, or a catcher or a pitcher in baseball. Could you take me back to what intrigued you about that position all those years ago?
Well, back when I was younger, started off with soccer or football.
Yeah.
I was a goalie there too, but it was very bad.
Much bigger net.
Yeah, much bigger net, but no, it was really bad back then. But I just like being a goalie for some reason. When I started playing hockey, I mean, that's the first thing I kind of started watching was like goalies. I don't know, I guess it's just the different paths or something like that. But even in different sports, I always want to be in net.
Well, it's worked out playing goaltender in hockey, quite obviously. And I'm curious, you grew up in Switzerland, and what was your access to watching NHL games, or who did you focus in on when you were trying to learn the position?
Well, mostly it was like on YouTube, you watch highlights more than anything. not necessarily even game highlights, but like season highlights of certain players. I mean, I've probably seen every highlight of every player there is back in the day. I mean, I remember watching even Patrick Kane, Malkin, you know, Crosby, those guys. But mostly Carey Price for me personally. It's mainly highlight reels on YouTube.
So Price was the main guy when you were kind of trying to learn how do you do this? Was there anybody else that piqued your interest back then?
Well, for me, back in my hometown, Martin Gerber. He was in the NHL for a couple of years too. Won a Stanley Cup, and he's from the same town I'm from. So always looked up to him too. And as I got older, I got to meet him and talk to him too. And he helped me out too when I was 16 to 18. You know, just kind of find my way.
When you were, did it click into your brain maybe at that age, 16, 17, 18, that the NHL might be a reality for you, or did it take a little longer to?
I mean, not really. For me, it was more like playing pro in Switzerland would be great. And then my first draft year, started like getting some emails from teams and scouts reaching out, but I still didn't think too much about it because I don't think I was projected very high anyways. Then I got drafted to WHL, and that's, I think once I got drafted, I'm like, okay, if I can maybe go this route, it could work out.
Let me take you back to last season. Yourself and Carl Lindbaum of the tandem in Henderson. And now, as we sit here, you're the tandem with the Golden Knights. What was that relationship like last year in terms of kind of fostering a partnership in that?
Yeah, I mean, last year was a hard year, I think, for not just for us, but the whole team. I mean, he still played had a great season last year. I think we kind of bonded through that. You know, we were on the road, we were roommates together all the time. So yeah, I think we have a very strong bond, and you know, having him up here is great, and I think it's been doing outstanding.
So you picked up your first shutout here recently against Detroit. First with the Golden Knights, second in your career. When you're looking up at the scoreboard and there's a goose egg up there and the time's ticking away, how much thought do you give it, or do you try to just stay in the moment on the ice?
I think if you get one, you just kind of stay in the moment. But I think the last maybe 8 minutes go by so slow because that's at least when I kind of, okay, we're getting kind of close now. You know, I've had games where I had 2 periods, no goals, and then you get scored on in the last period, but the last like 6-8 minutes, I think, me personally, start to think about it a little bit, but you just can't say the word, even in your head, you know.
Yeah. Like a no-hitter in baseball, right?
Yeah,
you can't. Yeah. Are you the type of goalie that wants, within reason, some shots early, feel the puck and get you into the game?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'd rather have 40 shots a game than 18, 19.
Yeah. Do you go back after each game and look at your game, or look at goals, or look at scenarios? How does, you know, everything's so, I see the guys on the bench with the iPads now. How do you approach that part of the game?
Yeah, usually after the game. I mean, during the game I try where you can't really worry too much about what happened as a goalie, especially, I think. For me, it's after the game, you know, when I get home, I maybe watch the goals, you know, the highlights of the game. Just gotta see what I did there, and then we usually have a session with Berkey too, where it's more detailed, where obviously he has his notes, writes those down, and then we look at it together.
Thanks for this. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Time for our last break here on Nightlife. Coming up next, we take a look back at some of the best images from the week that was.
I don't know whether you tip a robot.
You don't tip a robot.
You don't?
No.
Like tip them over, or?
You don't give them a gratuity.
Why?
Because they're robots.
Don't touch that remote. Nightlife on Scripps Sports. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Nightlife. Before we say farewell for the week, let's take a look back at some of the best moments, both on and off the ice.
They need a good middle, and they need a good end. It's not going to be 60 minutes of perfection. That doesn't happen, and the opponent gets paid to play as well.
What do you look for tonight?
The word snarl. Coach used it, and what snarl means is be at the net hard offensively and defend.
So you know what's coming now. Are the Anaheim Ducks a mirage or an oasis?
Dorofeev with a wrist shot and he scores! There it is! Pavel Dorofeev snaps it in.
It's too early to tell.
Oh, what a fence sitter that is.
Wild Bill driving in deep on Minchikov. He's an out in front, score! On the feed from William Karlsson, and Howden slams it home.
I don't know whether you tip a robot.
You don't tip a robot.
You don't?
No.
Like tip them over?
You don't give them a gratuity.
Why?
Because they're robots.
Hard-hitting stuff here on Lawless and Order. We got to the root of it.
So you got a mix-up here at the DeBrango and Lausanne. Lausanne trying to get the team going here. A quick fight between these two.
Marner on the move for the Golden Knights with Eichel and Barbashev coming. Marner to Eichel. Back to Marner in the give and go. In front to Barbashev. Score! Marner out top. Marner holding. Wrist shot deflected. Score! That one in off Hedman. Barbashev. Korzak scores! David Korzak from the slot. Theodore trying to find a little bit of daylight. His shot gloved away by Bobrovsky. Rebound score! And it's Tomas Hertl. He ropes the rebound. Now McNabb gonna feed it down. Barbashev gloves it and scores! Ivan Barbashev rips it home. Osterina an empty net bit again, and a diving save by Marner.
That does it for this week's episode of Nightlife. Make sure to tune in next time for exclusive content from the upcoming road trip to St. Louis. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Right here on Scripps Sports.